Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the September 3rd, 2015 Riverfront Design Review Committee. First item on the agenda is roll call.
Paul Dedman, Anthony Black,
Here.
Brian Doherty, Scott Howard, John Joyce, here. Don Kasperite, Jillian Robles, here. Richie Split, here. And David Yost. Here. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Second item on the agenda is approval of the minutes, which are in your packet. And if everyone hasn't had an opportunity to review them, would welcome any comments or take a motion. Moved by Mr. Split. Second by Mr. Joyce. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Third item on the agenda is cases that are withdrawn. There are none. Fourth item is continuance requests. There are none. Item number 5 is the consent docket, and there are no items. Item number 6, cases for individual consideration. Case A is SRCA 15-00014 at 431 Southwest 11th Street. Would you like to present for us?
Laura Griggs, Planning Department. This case is before you because it needs a variance to be located where they want to locate it. Other than that, it meets the criteria for administrative approval. It's not too big or anything like that. It meets the landscaping and the design requirements. You previously saw this site twice. Well, you saw it once. There was a demolition of the original building, and then subsequently approval of a new building, which is almost finished if you've been down there. And so they're before you with a sign, and due to where the building is located and trees, and it's a corner lot, the best site they felt for the sign is actually in the road right-of-way, and there's a significant amount of road right-of-way that's dirt down in that location on South Walker. Staff reviewed this and made some suggestions, and it moved, and it's in a location that staff can actually support. The sections that it does not comply with are referenced in your staff report, dealing with the fact that the sign is located in the road right-of-way. And normally that is not something that we feel comfortable with, but if you've been down there and let me get, oops, there. If you've been down there and seen the site, this is kind of catty corner from Little Flower Church, and most of the buildings are kind of further off the road. The main entrance is in the middle. They're on South Walker, and they're wanting to put the sign, and you can see kind of the yellow line I put in on the picture. They're wanting it to be kind of opposite of the front of the building. It does not hinder any doesn't cause any visual problems from traffic on the road there to the south on 11th Street. As they pull out, they're going to be able to see traffic. The parking lot for this building is actually behind the building, so you will get to it from 11th Street. The parking lot to the north is not their parking lot. My understanding is they're still working possibly on being able to drive through there. My understanding that they're working on that. So we have the sign, we have the contractor, the architect, and the person who runs the NSO. Yes. Sorry, I've only dealt with them on the phone, and I hadn't actually met them yet, so I'm making assumptions on who they are. They're here today to talk about this and answer your questions, and staff is actually has two possibilities in here. One is if you feel that it complies with the regulations, that you approve it subject to the condition of them getting a variance, and it happens to be on the Board of Adjustment agenda this afternoon. So this is a busy day for them. However, if you feel that it does not meet, well, sorry, I said that incorrectly. We're recommending approval of it, so we have the choice that choice on there. Obviously, you can make your recommendations for it. But if you do recommend approval, you also need to recommend the variance, approval of the variance.
Okay, wonderful. Would the applicant like to come forward and speak?
This is a sign.
Morning.
We,
State your name, please.
Christian Lobby with Union Morgan Architects.
Wonderful.
I was architect for the building. The sign, the owner wanted a sign to, just to show, basically the entry of the building. But when we went to 11th and Walker, it was in the site triangle. So ideally, we wanted it to signify the entry into 11th Street because the parking is actually behind the building. So, we talked to Laura and we ended up moving it to the center of the building. We're still visual on Walker Avenue. And the sign actually reuses the brick from the old building, and it also houses the cornerstone from the old building. So those are the two things I wanted to mention.
Let me get to the drawing. There we go. Sorry. And we have, in your packet is the site plan showing the location.
Right.
Kind of looks like a butterfly right there, and then the details of the sign.
So you can see the cornerstone kind of in the front part of the sign is called the
Right.
NSO cornerstone.
Is that right there?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And then all the brick is reused from the old building as well, so we wanted something to tie in the old building to give it a historic reference.
And the new construction, the brick was to match the old, so it will look the same.
Okay. I have a request to be heard. Are there any other comments from
That's all.
the design team? I have a request from Lindsay Gay to speak.
Let me look out here because... Oh, are you Lindsay? I'm Lindsay. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I got confused.
Would you like to speak to this case?
Just to confirm what Christian said, it will be built out of brick that was saved from the demolition of the church or the other office before, and we have the cornerstone from the original building to be embedded in it. But the location seems to be perfect in that it doesn't hinder any traffic flow or obstructions. It's going to be short enough that it can be seen from the street, but it won't be a problem as far as traffic. So that's the only comment I have.
Do I have any questions or comments from the committee?
I'd just like to comment that I think that's a tremendous improvement for the neighborhood. That's a very nice-looking building. I think I know the architect, and obviously a good contractor has been involved. It's the kind of thing that everyone in the city likes to see in an area that's been neglected in the past.
Thank you.
I presume since it's in public right-of-way, you'll have to get a revocable permit to construct it?
That is correct. They already have their application in, and it's just waiting approval today for me to be able to sign off on it.
Thank you.
I'd like to recommend approval, subject to the variance that's going to be required, item 1, and number 2. Is that appropriate at this point, Mr. Chairman?
Well, I
But
think
we need to vote on the first one, I guess. So.
right. I think we're going to vote on it contingent upon.
Make a vote on the
Motion.
sign and then motion and vote on the variance.
So
So
I'll make the
motion by
motion for
Mr.
approval.
Yost. Second by Mr. Split. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'll take your second motion.
And then make a recommendation for approval for variance to the Board of Adjustment, which I guess you said is today.
Okay, motion by Mr. Yost and second by Mr. Casperite. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next is item number 7, which is other business, and we have no items under that. Item number 8 is communications. Under administrative approval report, there are no items. Under the Board of Adjustment, we have one item, item number BOA 14188 at 431 Southwest 11th Street. Is there anything?
That's the sign.
Okay.
the variance for this sign.
Okay. Then item C, under communications for city council, we have SPUD 00827 at 1513 1513 Exchange Avenue in the Stockyards. And item 2 is SPUD 00832 at 3033 Southwest 14th Street in the Stockyards. Do you have any conversation on these items?
No, 827 was the river maintenance facility that you guys made a recommendation on a couple of months ago, and then the building associated with that is eligible for administrative approval, but we can't approve it until the SPUD is final, which is 30 days after August 4th.
Okay.
Which is tomorrow. And then 3033 Southwest 14th, you guys also heard that in June or July? Yeah. That took rezoned a small parcel to industrial use.
Okay, and further under communications, item D, in Planning Commission, we have a proposed ordinance amendment.
This is what we've been calling the demolition ordinance, that many of you have attended a couple of workshops, and we brought it to committee. It did have its final hearing at Planning Commission and was recommended approval to council. So its first council hearing will be September 15th.
Thank you. Next item, item E, comments from Planning Department staff. Do we have any comments? Okay. Item F, comments from the committee members. Okay. Item G, next meeting date is going to be Thursday, October 1st. Do we have any items on the October 1st? We do? Okay. And with that, I'll entertain a motion for dismissal. So moved by Mr. Howard and second by Mr. Splitt. All in favor? Thank you all very much today.